Hi, we're Doug and Mary. If you've been following us, you know that we've been exploring the Canadian Maritimes for over a month, mostly on backroads and looking for whatever seems interesting.
We boondock in our Toyota Sienna converted into a camper and look for unexplored and hidden treasures. The series of towns between Wolfville and Kentville are charming, historic, and friendly, filled with shops, wineries, breweries, a rich agricultural area, farmers market, and beautiful scenery.
Despite having European settlement in the area since 1600, the Acadian University is also located here and brings a young vibe to the area. The university has a student-run farm that supplies produce for all its dining halls.
Mahone Bay had a nice spot for the night along the waterfront with walking trails down to the marinas.
Today we decided to act more like tourists and headed up to Peggy's Cove with its picturesque lighthouse and fishing village atmosphere.
There are a couple of memorials in the area dedicated to the 229 people who perished on Swissair Flight 111, which crashed offshore in 1998. As well as the countless local people who dropped everything and took their fishing boats out to the site in search of survivors.
Lunenburg is another beautiful coastal town and listed as a World Heritage Site due to its history and architecture, with some buildings dating back to the 1780s.
Next right onto Marsh Road.
Right here? Yep. There's a little one here.
This was our last night in Nova Scotia, and we camped just a few miles down the coast from Digby, where we would take the ferry the next day across the Bay of Fundy to New Brunswick. The camp spot had a nice view of St. Mary's Bay, but we cleaned up several bags of garbage from the beach.
Today was our 32nd wedding anniversary, and the plan was a ferry ride to St. John, check into a nice hotel downtown, have a shower and a nice dinner, and walk around the historic downtown area. If the last few days have been any indicator, we should expect a downpour and a lot of wind, but we're keeping our fingers crossed. Good morning.
Just keep your boarding cards handy. They'll take them when you board.
Okay.
We'll put you right down lane number 1, sir.
Got it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
No, we get to go up on top.
The ferry crossing lasted only about 2.5 hours, but saved 350 miles of driving. Plus, we love ferries.
Turn left onto Market Square.
We found our hotel, cleaned up, and made our way to a nice restaurant a couple blocks away. Then it was walking around the vibrant downtown area on a beautiful evening, taking in the architecture and the local flair. That's our hotel, right there in the corner. Yeah. There's our room right there. No, we don't. Our room doesn't look to the outside; it looks to the inside.
People would say that girl, you got nothing but time. Ooh, you are a shining star. Don't worry what you're leaving behind. Every time you walk in the room, I could never be sure of a smile. You were never the same way twice, and I'm falling in love. Oh, no. Laying whiskey down, there's a brandy. Pass another round, and she serves him whiskey and wine. Tennessee brandy, go fine girl, what a goodbye. Nights inside, never reaching the end. Never time, never meaning to see. Beauty I've always been. These eyes before, just what the truth is, I can't say anymore, 'cause I love you.
The next day, we had some time in the morning to check out a bit more of the downtown area. We've come to realize that it's true what people say about Canada having only 2 seasons, winter and road construction. And of course, no visit to a large city would be complete without some stocking up on essentials from Costco.
We were able to navigate our way to a natural wonder called Reversing Falls. So as the water goes one way, when the tide is going out, the falls go one direction, and when a tide comes in, the falls go the other direction.
Look at over here though.
Yeah, the way it makes those pools and eddies. And then these will completely stop and it'll get calm. And when the tide changes, then they'll turn around and come back up the other direction, and it'll all wrap it the other way. Yeah, it is kind of neat, isn't it?
Look at how it just swirls and
It's a full bridge too. So we must be at low tide now. It's going out, just judging by the exposed amount of junk here. We stopped for the night at a place called P Point near Black's Harbor and found a wonderful set of trails through the woods and down to the coastline. This would be our last view of the Atlantic before turning inland and heading west. Here we are this morning at P Point, our kind of trailhead campground here, and it is foggy. And that lighthouse that we walked out to last night is doing its job, even though we could barely hear it most of the night. It's pointed the other direction this time, so actually I think we might even be hearing 2 different lighthouses, because there's 2 different tones going, maybe from different directions. But that's what you get when you camp next to a lighthouse in the fog. This was a pretty nice place, and it wasn't too Wasn't too noisy. There's a little bit of traffic going by. Some people coming and going into the evening, but that pretty much stopped.
In 1,000 feet, you will arrive at your destination.
Hello,
Yeah, where do you both live?
Montana,
Sealy Lake.
Where are you coming from in Canada?
Well, we've been as far out as Newfoundland, Labrador, and St. Pierre.
How long in Canada?
We've been here since July 8th.
What are you bringing back you did not take up with you?
A book, 3 t-shirts, a bottle of port,
2 cans of beer.
2 cans of beer.
That's it for alcohol?
Yeah.
Fresh fruits or vegetables?
Nope,
Potatoes from Canada?
nope. Okay, thank you. East Musquash Lake was a great spot to explore and have lunch. We found a very remote microbrewery close to the terminus of the Appalachian Trail and frequented by hikers completing the final leg of the trail. That's closed. We can't go there.
Continue for half a mile.
Well, that ain't happening.
I don't think so.
Well, Google Maps really let us down on this one. It was supposed to be a spot by a serene lake, beautiful views and so on, but we ended up on the dead end of a dead-end road that was kind of rutted, and so we're going to stay here because it's getting late and we don't want to go turn around and backtrack a whole bunch. And this isn't that bad. I mean, if we're kind of off by ourselves, so we don't have to worry about anybody else coming down here unless somebody else comes down here looking for the same spot we did. And it's good enough.
This is where we're going to go off script for a couple minutes and speed ahead to the present day.
As we left and headed through Maine, we really had no firm plan for our travel path continuing on, other than west, which is really the only option. Crossing the border, we were almost immediately filled with a sense of dread since the election season in the U.S. was in full swing, and of course it was the most vile and disgusting power grab on earth. Of course it hits you with both barrels when re-entering the U.S. with disgusting campaign signs, lies, and terror campaigns on both sides. We edited out most of that in our videos since we want them to be positive and upbeat.
As you know, we have traveled Canada from the Pacific to Tuktoyaktuk, to Churchill, to Labrador and St. John's, and a million points in between. It is a wonderful and beautiful country with warm and friendly people. We are embarrassed and disgusted by what our government is doing to the people of Canada and Mexico, as well as many other countries, all by a deluded dictator and people surrounding him who are too scared to speak the truth. We know that as many as half of our viewers are Canadians, so we want to say that the majority of the people in the U.S. do not want or support these actions coming from Washington.
It's probably no surprise to anyone who's watched us for more than a couple of YouTube videos that we strongly believe in protecting the environment, having clean water and air for everyone, and even affordable health care, which is only a distant dream for many Americans.
So when the results of the election started to come in, we knew that there were very bad times ahead. Tasting a bit of the Canadian life, even as a backroad tourist, is very intoxicating, and we did not want to become a part or a victim of this new America. We seriously looked at permanent residency in Canada, but these things take a lot of time. And of course, we're only retired civil servants with a modest retirement, not tech wizards or ER doctors who are high in demand.
Even so, we are selling our home, planning to do what is called slow travel, with a couple months in various countries and then moving on. We're currently embarrassed and disgusted by what our government is doing to our friends and neighbors and allies. Since November, we're doing what we can to make a difference, and so have all of our friends, and we encourage everyone on both sides of the border to do the same. Thanks. Please tune in again next time when we slip back north of the border for a bit and continue our journey more or less westward.
Thanks for watching.